Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Bring Them Down. And this is a new Irish thriller from writer-director Chris Andrews, and this film focuses on layers of conflict between two sheep-herding families in Ireland, neighbors who come into great conflict over the possession of some rams and the mutilation of sheep. And this film, first off, Andrews creates a haunting, unnerving film that just has palpable tension and suspense in it. Just the way that this is shot has so much texture and weight to it. It's unnerving. And you have just this gorgeous, stark-looking nature. Nick Cook, who's a cinematographer, really brings out the most in this very scenic setting. And then Hannah Peel, who is the composer of this, uses a lot of hard percussions of like wood and stuff like that to create this very eerie, tribal, very authentic kind of feel. It feels very primeval, and that's very important because a lot of this film is characters giving in to like their primal nature of violence and vengeance, and there's something quite intense about this experience. You have from the opening sequence that sets up an uncomfortable dynamic between two of the main characters, Michael and Caroline, who live on these opposing farms. Michael, the son of a renowned sheep herder, and Caroline, the ex of Michael, who now is married to the rival sheep herder right next door. And that tension begins from this opening scene that really sets up Michael as a dangerous and unnerving character. And Chris Abbott really leans into this. His physicality and his approach to everything in this performance is so unnerving, intense, and, to be frank, frightening. You feel so uncomfortable watching him and experiencing him in this film. And this film has a very parallel story between him and Barry Keoghan's Jack, the son of Caroline and Gary, played by Paul Reddy, who lives next door. And this film is kind of broken into, you have Michael's story, you have Jack's story, and how they converge into this climax that finds both of these characters who, this film has no problems going to the gray of life and conflict and us being very flawed beings. And this film drives that conflict between these two very not good people who have to speak for their choices and speak for their actions. And this film plays with, Caroline's probably one of the only characters in this feels like completely clean here. And everybody else has their flaws, has their vanity, has their ego, and how it goes unchecked. And this film navigates vengeance and paternal relationships and generational trauma in fascinating ways, because there's something dark that happened in terms of Michael's mother. And you have Colm Meaney, who gives a fantastic supporting turn as Ray, Michael's father, and their conflict and their completely different perspective on how to handle the business of this sheep herding farm that they have. And Keoghan and Abbott each give intense, complex, and layered performances that have layers of empathy, but also we're scared of both of them for what we know they're capable of. This film has harrowing moments and trigger warning moments, just to let you know. This has a lot of animals in it. Not all of them make it out okay. And some of those scenes will really hit you emotionally. But then, one of the main gripes I have with this film is there's one particular scene where I understand they're trying to go to a certain place to invoke the emotions of Keoghan's character, but the film didn't need to exactly do this on screen for us to capture that. I feel like it went too far in depicting the results of horrible actions towards these animals. And, it goes there. There's also one very important climactic scene that is shot at night that is almost incomprehensible to see what's happening. And it's very frustrating. And I understand the choice of trying to make it feel more intense by being shaky, not being able to see things. But, this felt like such an important scene to not be able to see much at all. Just felt... it took you out of the movie at that point. But this film is an interesting puzzle box in terms of how this all fits together. These actors give fantastic performances. Nora Jane Nunn, who plays Caroline, I loved her in this. She gives a fantastic performance. This film has a harrowing journey, climax, and conclusion. And nobody really gets out of this unscathed or in a good place. And that is the unfortunate nature of giving in to these horrible, grudges and vengeance and all these things that could rot us as human beings. And this film certainly delivers on that. This is a harrowing thriller. Andrews delivered something so unique and impactful and shocking and surprising. You're never quite sure exactly how this is all going to play out. And Abbott and Keoghan anchored this one down and deliver something special. But those are my thoughts on Bring Them Down. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.